into fashion, but I love the clothes she wears. We are starting this vlog where we left off. I'm gonna intro it here. Like I say, I didn't plan on splitting these vlogs into two, so I didn't have an outro and an intro clip, so I've just spliced it in half. And this is the intro clip. So welcome to Ella, Sri Lanka. This is where this vlog picked up, and basically this is like Sri Lanka's jewel in the crown in terms of backpacker towns. You've probably heard of it. It's where the famous train ride brings you into. It looks like this. If you haven't seen the last vlog, check that out. But basically this vlog starts and we are exploring the town, going on a hike, picking up where we left off basically. If you didn't see my last vlog, I'm currently hosting a group trip in Sri Lanka with I'm Here Travels. These guys are some of my closest friends. I love what they're doing. They're a new travel company. They're still pretty much a startup, but they're running trips around the world, and I'm here in Sri Lanka with them. So we're gonna flash back where I was vlogging, but it does just kind of jump right back in, so there's that. And yeah, I'm excited. I feel like we're in a proper backpacker location now, guys. Like, this is really giving Southeast Asia, even though we're not in Southeast Asia, we're in South Asia, but still. We have made it to Ella. This was the location I was the most excited about because it's probably the location that I've heard the most about. Like, when people were asking me, where in Sri Lanka are you going? I was like, Colombo, because that's where we land. Ella, because that's where I'm just like the most excited to visit. I feel like it's the location that you've potentially heard about the most. It definitely is the one that I've heard about the most. And I think that's for good reason, because we just got off the train, which, by the way, what an experience. Like, I don't think I've ever been on a train ride as beautiful as that. We were in 3rd class, so that's like the lowest, cheapest tickets, but it actually worked out really good because about halfway through everybody in the carriage got off, so then we all had seats. We were taking it in turns, as you saw, to like dangle out of the window. We got some such good content. Everybody was such hype women, like hyping everybody up to take selfies, to take videos, to take photos and stuff, so that was lovely. And then we stepped off the train into this town, and immediately it's just like backpacker vibes, and that's what I really like about a place. You just know it's going to be a good vibe. We are about to go for dinner at a place called Chill Cafe. I'm going to quickly show you my room. Got a bed with all my clothes on it, so I won't show you that. It's just really, really nice, guys. It's just a hotel room, but it's a really bloody good hotel room. Big old mirror, outfit of the day. So I have just unpacked my entire bag. And then a really nice bathroom as well with a really good shower. So I just kind of like didn't wash my hair, but rinsed my hair just to give it another scrunch because it got so frizzy on the train. Anyway, I need to go.
Everybody's staring for days. All they see is just a young, pretty face. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better.
Just about. It is now the next day. It is Monday. I picked you up to say last night was such a fun night out. Like, we ended up staying out until 2 just in the place that we went for dinner, which actually ended up being a nightclub. It was so cool. Basically, when we sat down, it was like restaurant vibes. They're open through the day. They do breakfast and lunch. And then at about like maybe 9 p.m, a DJ set started, and it was just like casual, like background DJing. It wasn't like really loud. And then it just kind of picked up, and at like 10 o'clock it turned into a dance floor. And then at 11 o'clock, this building that was like inside of the restaurant opened up, and you walked through this tunnel and it became a nightclub. And I was like, wow, this is just a multi-functioning location. But because of that, feeling a bit rough this morning because we all ended up having a couple drinks. It was very fun. Had a boogie. I think it was exactly what we needed after a couple of long days of history and like really learning about the culture, the religion, which I love. Whenever I visit a new country, I do just really enjoy kind of learning about it firsthand and seeing it like in real life. I didn't know anything about Sri Lanka really, other than it was a Buddhist country. I've learned so much, but it was quite a lot of knowledge all at once, and I feel like we were ready to let our hair down. Anyway, because of that, I've had a lie-in and I've been doing some work for the last few hours, and now I'm gonna head out and explore the town. I only have like an hour and a bit because then we are going on a little mini hike to Little Adams Peak, which is one of the famous viewpoints around here. Some of the girls this morning went out really early and did a big hike. That's Ella's Rock. It's one of the most famous hikes that you can do here in Sri Lanka, but the views from Little Adams Peak and Ella's Rock look, in my opinion, fairly similar, and I think I just chose Slightly smaller hike today because I've done a lot of walking. I've done a lot over the last few days. Yeah, I'll insert a picture of Ella's rock. This is what it looks like. If you come to Ella, it's a very famous hike to do. It takes about 6 hours, but the one we're doing takes around 1 hour, which for me today, that's perfect. Get changed because it looks like it's gonna absolutely chuck it down. I think it actually maybe is already raining, and we're about to go on a hike. Apart from, we've already done 2 hikes on this trip and I didn't bring any more hiking gear. I don't really know why, because I knew we were doing like 3 different days of hiking. I only brought 2 days worth. So she's wearing a normal outfit and she's gonna get soaked. I honestly feel like I was not prepared because I didn't bring a raincoat either. But here is my thing. I really feel as though raincoats don't really work. Every time I've traveled with a raincoat, I still get wet anyway, and they make you so sweaty when it's a hot climate. They're good in a cold climate, but if it's humid and raining, I just think you're better off getting wet, because like you end up wet anyway because they're never that great. And even if you're not wet from the rain, you're wet from the sweat of wearing it. So I just didn't pack it. Am I about to regret it? Either way, I'm about to leave this camera here because it's not waterproof, and I'm gonna switch over to my GoPro. Oh, it's miserable, guys.
Talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes. Don't let it fall on me. Say you a good guy.
Everybody looks so cute. The helmets and the hairnets underneath, yeah.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Rewind, when we rewind, it's so nice. We time, you know how to make me feel right. I can't. Oh my God. Through all the lanes, sweet talk. You need to say let's to me.
The dog. That's enough to make me cry. He's so cold up. That zip line was so much fun. It went so fast, and I thought that I was going to be quite scared of it, but I actually wasn't. I loved it, so that was really good. I will say we got absolutely soaked, and maybe actually I take back my comment about a raincoat, because I probably could have done with one, but I did dry off. Then it stayed pretty cold, guys. It's quite chilly, so I'm going out for dinner, but I'm wearing this t-shirt because it's probably the warmest item of clothing I've got. But yeah, I'm gonna go for dinner now. I've just got in, had a turnaround, actually had like a nice hour to just chill. I called Tom, which was lovely, and then now we're going for food, which I'm so ready for. Just walking down the street in Sri Lanka, just casual. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah! The thing is, it doesn't care though, does it? It is just wild. Why has it got no friends though? Where's like it's meant to be. Yeah, I don't think it's here. Yeah. Before leaving Ella, we headed to see the 9 Arches Bridge, which is pretty famous. You may have seen this shot before of the train passing over it, and it's very iconic. This actually was stunning. I will say it gets pretty busy. We headed there quite early, and I would definitely recommend doing the same. We also made a few pit stops to look at the waterfalls and some other viewpoints before heading to Arugam Bay, which I still think I might be saying incorrectly. We have checked in to our beach hotel. We are staying in a place called Arugam Bay. I really hope that that is correct. And it's basically in the south of Sri Lanka. This is kind of like its surf coast. There's a lot of small kind of surf towns here. There's loads. I've seen so many on TikTok. You could really have your pick. You could probably do a little road trip of just the south coast of Sri Lanka, because I think the beaches here are beautiful. If you're a beach person, and we all know that I am, I think this is going to be my favorite place because I just love relaxing by the ocean. I actually woke up this morning. I opted out of going surfing. It was on the itinerary. 8 of the girls went and the rest of the girls didn't, because I think we just needed a bit of a lie-in. But also, still the same issue, guys. I actually can't put any weight on my right wrist. This is an ongoing problem, but surfing definitely doesn't help it. So I thought I'm gonna have a lie-in. I'm gonna have a really chilled, relaxing morning, and it is now like 9:30, and a group of us are gonna go for brunch. And then I think this day on the itinerary is potentially the most exciting, because this afternoon we're going on a safari, and I'm so excited because it's like a proper safari. The other day we did an elephant safari safari, we saw elephants in the wild. Today we're doing like a jeep safari through a national park where there are leopards, sloth bears, crocodiles, elephants again, so many birds, things like that. I genuinely cannot wait. I've never seen a leopard. I would love to see one in the wild. When my friend did this exact tour with I'm Here in November, when they were running their like trial trip, they saw so many leopards and the guide said that that was quite rare, but I'm hopeful, guys, if my wishing and my manifesting comes true, that we might see some leopards today.
We should focus on us forever. Yeah, baby, if you are feeling like I do, we could run away across the ocean. Baby, what you say? We can leave today. Anywhere we'll go, we'll be alright. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you.
Oh, look at the little baby running.
Oh, he's not got his horns yet. I wouldn't want them to run at us though. So we had been driving around for a few hours at this point, and we knew that our best bet of seeing a leopard was as it started to get dark. So we were keeping our eyes peeled. We kept parking up to see if we could hear anything. And at this point in time, it was looking pretty bleak, guys. I was honestly so sure that we weren't going to see one. And then this happened. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
Doesn't matter if we make mistakes, which I can promise that.
Oh my goodness me. I cannot tell you how special today was. I feel so lucky. I don't know how clear it is in the last clips because I'm going to be real. It's actually really hard to video animals. I am not David Attenborough and I don't have a David Attenborough setup, and I only have this camera and my phone and my other camera. So I am carrying 3 cameras, but none of them are like long lens animal photography style cameras. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I wish they were. We had done this whole safari. You kind of saw there was just lots of clips of like us in the jeep. We did see a lot of things, I will say. Like, we saw some really cool animals. We mainly saw a lot of birds, a lot of deer, and then quite a lot of buffaloes. I think they were buffaloes. They might have been cows of some kind of different variant. But it was getting towards the end of this time that we were gonna be on the safari, and it was getting dark, and we were like, we haven't seen a leopard, we haven't seen a leopard. And that was like the one thing everybody was really hoping to see. And we turned around and then we stopped for a little bit, which was like this clip here. We stopped here for ages because somebody had seen a leopard's tail. So we were like, okay, there's a leopard in the area. So we sat and we waited and we waited, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, it's gonna be so far away. Even if I do see it, I'm not gonna be able to like properly see it or take a photo of it. And then we turned around, we were like, we're giving up with this, headed back towards where the bus was. I'm not joking, a leopard just walked out right next to the jeep and then plodded along the road in front of us for like a good 10 minutes, and everybody was able to see it. Everybody was able to get photos of it. In the chaos of everything happening, the videos still aren't great because we were kind of like trying not to disturb it, but also trying to get a good look at it. And then the jeep was kind of still tipping around because the terrain is not great. Like, we were in 4-wheel drive cars, so every time you stand up, if you go over a pothole, you kind of fall over. So I've actually really hurt my ribs because I fell into the side of the jeep as the leopard was like moving, because I was so excited. I was like getting up, and then yeah, one of the girls, Erin, got this incredible picture. I'm going to insert it here because the leopard was just looking at her. Like, I can't believe she took this picture. It's just so crazy. Shot on an iPhone as well. I feel like this could be submitted to Apple's shot on iPhone campaign because like that's crazy. I say this on every single group trip, but it's things like these, like core memories like these, that we all now share together, that kind of bond you as a tour group, as like a travel group, but also now like as friends. I think it's so special because I will always share that memory with these people. I don't know, we were kind of just getting in our feels a little bit in the jeep because we were like, this has been a crazy day. And don't get me wrong, it was a long day. We were out in the cars from 1 p.m. until 8 p.m. So we were in the jeeps just like driving around the national park. It was long, it was a lot. We're leaving Arugam Bay tomorrow morning to drive to Galle, I think is how you pronounce it. It's like a 4.5-hour drive. That is our final stop before we get to our end destination of the trip, which is Hikkaduwa, I think is how you say it. My pronunciation of these town names has not been amazing along the way, guys. I'm so sorry. Anyway, we've completely off-piste. I was supposed to be talking about the safari. Nature's just crazy. I think our planet is just insane, and I can't believe that places like that exist, and then we're just going about our normal day-to-day lives in the UK. And here in the most random, rural, remote national parks of Sri Lanka, the animal kingdom is existing as if you are watching a David Attenborough. Like, Like, I just couldn't comprehend it. We had such deep chats in our Jeep today. It was actually really lovely. But anyway, I'm gonna pick you up in the morning for our final full day of this group tour, and I will be genuinely devastated to see these girls go. I sound like a stuck record and I say it a lot, but I think these group trips that I've hosted over the last year, 2 years, have just attracted the nicest group of girls, and it's so lovely to see. Currently, I feel like I just have a friend group of 19 girls and we're doing everything together, and it's so special. Why is this now a 7-minute chat? I'm gonna put you down and I'm gonna pick you up tomorrow, but I'm feeling a bit emotional.
Don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind when we rewind. Feels so nice. We time.
Even though our time here was only brief, I actually really enjoyed our visit to Galle because we caught it at a really great time. Sri Lanka was actually still celebrating their New Year festival, so there was a lot of festivities going on, which was really, really cool to get to see.
Why you blushing?
Oh my god, we have just arrived at our final destination. This is Hikkaduwa, I think is how you pronounce it. And we are back on Sri Lanka's east coast, which is where Colombo is, it's where the airport is. And then you did see that we stopped at Galle Fort. Galle is like a city that was Portuguese and Dutch and then British, and basically Sri Lanka's east coast is kind of like where the towns and cities are that are a bit more industrial, and we were kind of like off the grid a little bit in Arugam Bay, in Ella, in Sigiriya as well, where we did the rock climb in the last vlog. The tour ends tomorrow morning, but most people are staying another night or two just because it's the weekend. So if people are heading back for work and stuff, they have a few more days before they need to go back to work. So quite a lot of us are going to be here tomorrow as well, which is really, really nice. But I've just checked into this hotel room. Look how crazy it is. I filmed a little tour, but it is so grand. Like, I checked in and I was like, oh my gosh, the bed has like a curtain over it. I've got this massive balcony and I've got this just incredible sea view. So really luckily we've ended up with a good few hours this evening to chill out, and then in about an hour or so we're gonna head out for like one last group dinner and hopefully go for a couple of drinks, a couple cocktails. So I'm gonna get a bit more dressed up. It is dinner time. This is my outfit. I don't know if you can even really see it. It's this really gorgeous like pale blue and green kind of floral print. I just think it's really cute. Yeah, we're actually gonna head to an Italian. This is my first Italian I think that I've had. Good for me. It's been 10 days with no pasta. Who am I?
To fashion, but I love the clothes she wears. Her tattoos always in her fire underwear, but she don't care. It's not a star in heaven that we can reach.
I want it that way.
Oh my goodness, and now we're in real time. I'm in Hikkaduwa, and all I've really done here is chill. It is beautiful though. This is what the beach looks like. You could spend a lot of time just chilling here. Like, if you want to stay in a nice hotel, relax, sunbathe, there are quite a few. I have seen over the last week a lot on TikTok people comparing the coastal towns of Sri Lanka to Bali about 30 years ago. And I hate doing this because you never want to like amp up somewhere's tourism by comparing it to somewhere else, especially when Bali is now like so touristy and so busy. The charm is lost a little bit. Personally, I like Bali. I think that there are beautiful parts of that island, and I also think sometimes being in a touristy area is not that bad. Like, it's safe, it's busy, there's loads of food options, you're usually having a little bit more choice of accommodation, activities, things like that. Sometimes as a backpacker that's actually what you want, or it is for me anyway. But I will say I think that comparison is probably quite accurate. All of the towns in Sri Lanka are still very much up and coming. There's not as much tourism here. It's definitely a location that you tend to visit, maybe isolated on its own, and if you do tie it into a Southeast Asia trip, you are coming a little bit across. Like, it's not really the same sort of vibe as the other Southeast Asian countries. I will say it has a real charm about it because of that though. I think if you're the kind of traveller that wants off the beaten track, kind of more remote locations, hikes that are not going to be as busy, temples that you're not queuing to get in, things that are different to Thailand and Bali, Sri Lanka would be up your street 100%. I will say on the total flip side of this, and I do think this is going against the grain, guys, and I'm nervous to say it because I've not really seen this opinion online. Having been here as a big group of girls, there were times where we didn't feel 100% safe. In the same way that there were times in South America that I wouldn't have wanted to be there without Tom, I think this was very much that, and obviously this time I am here without Tom, so I've noticed it more. I don't want to throw Sri Lanka under the bus. Maybe it's because we were a group of 18 English girls all together. We did seem to just be like standing out a little bit and attracting attention a little bit, and I've never had as many photos of me taken as I have had this week, and I don't mind that. I know that it's just like part of the culture here. A lot of the men want selfies with you, and that happens in a lot of Asia. That's not actually that weird as it sounds to say it, but I've just had like a slightly odd vibe a few times, so I like to try and keep these backpacking vlogs real. I will say if you're planning on coming alone, I think you'll be fine. I think there are so many safe areas to stay, but my advice would be to book this as part of a group trip, and I am not doing this to advertise I'm Here Travels. I just think generally as a solo traveling female, that's how I would feel the safest, and I just think it's important to be real about that, because otherwise you can sugarcoat and gloss over every country in the world. And if you've watched any of my other vlogs, you'll know that I chat like this about everywhere. I chatted about stuff like this when I was in Brazil, when I was in Argentina, Colombia, all of the places that have a bit of a reputation. A lot of them I think is unfairly, but I think I wanted to bring this up in Sri Lanka because I've not really seen it mentioned, and maybe it was just our experience. I will say I think Sri Lanka's history is incredibly important to give context to visiting Sri Lanka, and we had a really great guide, Dilshan, who was very, very knowledgeable on the country's political history, because I do think that it's still so recent that if you're visiting in 2025 or 2026, just brush up a little bit on like the history of this country and what's been going on over the last 5 years, but also the last 30 years. I think that it's just still quite recent and quite current. They've had a lot of economic issues. The pandemic affected this country horribly. I think the knock-on effects of COVID are a topic for another video, to be honest, but I see it so much traveling in countries like this, things that we wouldn't have even considered in England. It takes places like this a lot longer to get back to the point that they were at, and Sri Lanka had a huge economic crash in 2021, and it is really very much still building itself back up from that. So that's my number one tip. If you're coming to Sri Lanka, do some research. I thought I'd just add that onto the end of the vlog. I didn't mean to have a deep chat, but I do think it's important to be like a conscious traveler and to be a conscious tourist. Like, it's easy to rock up in a place and go to the beach and just sunbathe. Like, you can do that, of course you can, but in my head, if you're traveling and you've got it in your mind that you want to see a country and immerse yourself in its culture, it's important to do that properly and to not be naive to the fact that this is not the UK. And that's actually why I love backpacking. I feel like I've learned a lot on this trip, and I feel like I'm leaving with a lot more insight and a lot more knowledge into this part of the world, because I didn't really know very much, and I love hands-on learning, guys, and this has been a hands-on learning trip. Like, I have had a lot of history lessons. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have enjoyed it, please do give a thumbs up and subscribe. I would also really love to hear from you. If you have been to Sri Lanka, please do let me know your opinions, but also share your opinions for other people if they're watching because they're going. I would love to have like a few different opinions in the comments and just to start up that conversation, because of course I'm only one point of view. Other than that, I shall see you in my next video, which is gonna be from Thailand. You guys know how I feel about Thailand. It's like a home from home at this point. I bloody love that country. And I'm flying back there this evening. I'm meeting my brother in Bangkok, and we are hosting a group trip going scuba diving. So I'm sure the vibes are gonna be very fun. Slightly different trip to this trip, but fun nevertheless. So subscribe so that you don't miss that. Thank you so much for watching. Please do check out I'm Here Travel. They run group trips all across the world, and I'm sure they've got something that's right up your street if you are looking to go backpacking. And I shall see you very, very soon. Bye!